Jason Lejeune from Gridiron Football. We're here at our third annual Gridiron Football Media Day. We were at Pineville earlier this week. Now we're at St. Thomas More. Can't appreciate Coach Sadwell for the great hospitality. Here with Coach Travis Blaize from Acadiana Renaissance. Coach, always a pleasure. I know you really help us a lot with our bowl game year in, year out, so we really appreciate that. Coach, I believe, was this year 2 coming up for y'all?
Year 3.
Year three coming up. So first of all, talk about year 2. Talk about 2024 and how that season went for y'all last year.
The big thing we were looking for in a program in its infancy was improvement. And so overall, we were trying to kind of take that next step as a program. The first year we went winless, so let's find a win here and there.
Sure.
But let's get better in everything we do. We built our home stadium. We had a place to play, and so learning how to have a football team, have a football schedule, learning how to operate on Friday nights as a school, and then of course finding a couple wins in there. And so we played a mix of varsity and JV opponents. Our kids got better every week. We found a couple of wins and even some comeback wins and big moments. And so it's important for us to kind of build off of those going into year 3 and take that next step.
Right. And speaking of that next step, let's talk about the 2025 version of Acadiana Renaissance. What kind of overall product that you think we'll be seeing this fall?
So again, improvement. That's kind of the magic word. Our thing is 1-0, and that's about winning the next battle in front of us. And so with that 1-0 mindset, it's okay. Let's take on summer workouts. The kids take on these competitive 7-on-7s, and we got pads here in a couple weeks. Let's have a great padded practice, and then our opponents. We have a couple of transfer kids that'll be seniors, so it'll be our first seniors in football. But we're really freshman through junior heavy, and that's the kids that we're building on this program with. And so, the 2025-26 version of us should be the best that we've had at this point.
You mentioned this is a program that's still really in its infancy, right? So what's been kind of the biggest challenges for you to really start up a football program like this?
This is one of the most unique things I've ever seen in my career. And like the first year, we were practicing on a playground. It's a turf lot that the school has for our 5th grade, and our principals at our other campuses gave us the opportunity to use it. So, learning how to practice, learning how to coordinate everything for a Friday night, and football's new to the school. The transportation aspect, and hey, like when we say we need to leave at 4:30, that means 4:30. Thankfully, we have an experienced administrative team that have been at other schools that have had football programs and those things. So, they were able to kind of usher along, and then of course, many of our kids had never played tackle football before, so that was obviously a challenge as well. And once we started playing some of these older and better schools, it was handling adversity. We didn't expect as a coaching staff to go in there and blow the doors off of somebody, but maybe the kids thought they did, and learning how to lose and then learning how to win. You'd be surprised at how many things go into a football program when you're starting from the ground up that you didn't know about.
Oh, absolutely, Coach. I know you're doing a great job. And let's talk about the offense and the defense. Let's break it down. I know the offense is definitely a specialty for you. So how's that side of football looking as an overall standpoint?
Well, thankfully, we installed a system. I hired an offensive coordinator last year to learn the system, and he's done a phenomenal job. He and my receivers coach, my line coach, they kind of have taken ownership of it. And we talk about there's a gumbo that's made. They've added their spice to it. But the good thing for our kids, we're in year 3 of the same system.
Sure.
So the terminology is the same. The verbiage is the same. The kids kind of know when we do this, we're looking for this. And the kids are getting a lot quicker and on time. And so offensively, I've been very pleased with our progress. We're going to look to be a little more run heavy than I've typically been in my career. But we have 3 great backs, and we got to get those guys the ball, and got a bunch of playmakers. And we say balance looks like a bunch of people making plays, so we want to be balanced and want to get all of our guys the ball, let the dogs eat.
Yeah, for sure, and especially get the dogs eat defense. Let's talk about the defense side of the football. How's that looking?
So we brought in a new defensive coordinator, Coach Bryson Travassis. He had coached in college. He was at Missouri Southern when we were able to scoop him up. He likes to put hands in the dirt, and he likes to move our D linemen, which I love. And his big commitment to me when he took that position is we want to be somebody that stops the run. And to me, that's how you win in high school football. You got to control the line of scrimmage, but if somebody can run the ball on you and they're moving the chains and they're possessing the ball, it makes it even harder on the offense. And so we're going to be overly committed to stopping the run this year. Play good football in the secondary, and the big thing across the board is as we're taking that next step, learning to play with effort, learning to pursue the football, learning to turn the football over and those things. And I'm very excited about what our defense can do this year.
You brought 4 guys with you today to Media Day. Tell me about these 4 guys, why you decided to bring them to Media Day.
We're looking at some guys that have garnered a little bit of college interest. Our team's young, so when these guys come and they say, okay, what do you have, coach? I'm like, look, we got a bunch of babies, but we've bought Sincere Moore, who was a transfer. He's a homeschool kid, and he's come to us, and thankfully he's stayed with us. I think he could have had the opportunity to play varsity at some other schools, but he's helping us build. Phenomenal athlete, dangerous with the ball in his hands, double digits in yards per catch, jet sweeps, screens, kind of touches the ball all over. So he's our lone senior. The other senior, and his story is kind of funny. He's our kicker.
Okay.
We had a halftime contest at our annual Blue versus White game. He could kick for some cash and kick for some Cane's gift cards. He sinks it from 40, and he's like, my prize, I just want to play football. Let me play football. And he's been going to camps, and his range is 50 plus, and I think he's only going to get better as he lifts weights and gets stronger. So it's pretty cool that, it would be hilarious to me that the first kid ever to sign for Marco would be a kicker, 4.0 student, does everything right in the classroom. And then 2 sophomore studs we have, tight end Noah Nowicki. He's got the height, he's got the frame, 6'3", runs like a deer, catches the ball well. He's kind of grown into his body, and everybody that's come to the school that sees him, he's very well spoken, good grades, great weight room kid. And then our tailback Christian Aubrey, phenomenal, fluid, can line up and play receiver, catches the ball well in the backfield. He's 200-pound back with great weight room numbers. As he develops that straight line speed, I think he's going to be on somebody's sideline making them better on Saturdays.
Coach, so talk quickly about the schedule coming up for y'all and with the teams y'all be playing this year.
So we're going to play St. Edmunds in a scrimmage. So I'm going to stay on the varsity side.
Sure.
The varsity teams are going to play. Vermilion Catholic in our jamboree. So two programs that went deep into the playoffs. VC off of a state championship. Yeah. Then we'll get some time off. We'll play Hanson Memorial. We'll play Morris Jeff out of New Orleans. Then we're going to play Oberlin. Coach Ware does a great job with the wing T over there. And so our kids need to see some of that stuff. They need to see all these different offenses. So then we'll play the Willow School, another school out of New Orleans. Then we're going to play Beauchene for our homecoming. We had played them last year at their place. And then we'll finish the season with J.S. Clark. And then we'll have a slew of JV games in there for our younger kids to get some reps. That was a big step we needed to take this year, is to get those younger guys more than just practice reps.
Right.
So,
gotcha, Coach. I know as the program's growing, I know the fan base is also growing at the same time. So give a shout out to the fans and why they should come and buy tickets to support y'all this fall.
And I don't have to tell them anything. We have some of the most supportive people across the state. We had 2,000 people at a scrimmage. We did your admission for our scrimmage, our self scrimmage was a thing of detergent. And it's pouring off of the shelves. We still have not made a dent in the detergent these people have bought. I've never, if I needed something, all I got to do is ask, and they provide it for us. They show up in droves, even if they came to 7-on-7, like, what are we watching for again? But they support. They're great. Our fans are some of the best in the area, and people like to play us because they travel well too. So it always makes for a good gate. When people travel to us, they're welcome with open arms. We just have an incredible fan base, an incredible amount of support here at ARCA, and that's one of the most amazing things about this program.
Absolutely, Coach. You're doing a great job building this program up. I know how hard it is to build a program from the ground up, so you're doing a great job, Coach. Here's your magazine on us. We appreciate it. We're actually going to have another preview magazine featuring y'all, in-depth season preview on y'all as well. So any ARCA fans out there want to get their football fix right before football season, make sure to order a magazine copy. You can find us at gridironfootballusa.com.